Have you ever felt like you are an alien, waiting for the mothership to come back and pick you up? You're sitting at a dinner party or in a meeting at work, and you look around the room. Everyone else seems perfectly engaged. They are laughing at the same jokes, nodding at the same surface-level opinions, and seemingly flowing through life on a wavelength that you just cannot tune into. When you do speak, people look at you strangely. Maybe they say you're too intense. Maybe they tell you that you overthink everything. Or maybe they just stare blankly, forcing you to backpedal and simplify your thoughts until you feel like you're speaking to a child. If this sounds familiar, you aren't crazy, and you aren't necessarily socially awkward. You might just be suffering from the communication gap. Studies in communication theory suggest that meaningful connection becomes difficult when there is a deviation of more than 30 IQ points between two people. When that gap widens, communication breaks down. The connection is lost. Being highly intelligent in a world designed for the average is not always a gift. Sometimes it feels like a curse. Today, we are going to explore the 6 psychological signs that your intellect is actually the barrier between you and other people, and why being too smart can sometimes be the loneliest feeling in the world. Small talk feels like physical pain. Sign number 1. Small talk doesn't just bore you. It feels like physical torture. We all know the polite societal dance. How are you? Good. Crazy weather, isn't it? Yeah, wild. For the average person, this ritual is comforting. It's a social lubricant that establishes safety. But for someone with high intelligence, this feels like an excruciating waste of cognitive resources. It's not that you are arrogant, it's that your brain craves high stimulation concepts. Intelligent minds are often characterized by a need for cognition, a psychological trait where an individual enjoys thinking, analyzing, and complex problem solving. When you are forced to discuss the weather or celebrity gossip, your brain is essentially idling. It is a Ferrari stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic. You aren't getting the dopamine hit that you get from deep, abstract, or novel conversations. So people might label you as rude, quiet, or aloof at parties, but the truth is you are just desperately scanning the room for someone, anyone, who wants to talk about the universe, psychology, history, or the future of AI, rather than what happened on a reality TV show last night. Sign number 2 is what I call the curse of prediction. High intelligence is, at its core, pattern recognition. It is the ability to take disparate pieces of data, synthesize them, and accurately predict a future outcome. If you are highly intelligent, you likely see problems miles before they happen. You see that your friend's new relationship is doomed because of a subtle behavioral pattern in their partner. You see that a new business strategy at work is going to fail because the logistics don't add up. And here is the painful part. You try to warn them, but because most people process information linearly and in the present moment, they can't see the pattern you see. They call you a pessimist. They say, "Why can't you just be happy for me?" Or, "You worry too much." Then 6 months later, when the exact thing you predicted happens, you don't even feel good about being right. You just feel exhausted. This creates a disconnect where you feel like you are constantly watching a car crash in slow motion. While everyone else is in the car singing along to the radio, you prioritize truth over harmony. This brings us to sign number 3, and this is the one that ruins the most relationships. You prioritize truth over social harmony. In most social groups, the primary goal of conversation is bonding. It is about making everyone feel good and part of the tribe. Facts are secondary to feelings. But for the highly intelligent mind, the primary goal of conversation is usually information exchange and accuracy. So when someone says something that is factually incorrect, maybe a historical date, or a scientific concept, or a logical fallacy, you feel an almost compulsive need to correct it. Not because you want to be mean, but because to you, the truth is the most important thing in the room. You think you are being helpful. You think, surely they would want to know the right answer. But they don't. They perceive your correction as an attack. They see you as argumentative, pedantic, or a know-it-all. You find yourself constantly confused, thinking, why are they mad at me? I just stated a fact. This is the classic clash between EQ, emotional intelligence, and IQ. You are playing a game of chess while they are playing a game of catch. Analysis paralysis. Sign number 4. You suffer from analysis paralysis. There is a misconception that smart people make quick decisions. Often the opposite is true. The smarter you are, the more variables you can see. Shutterstock. If you ask an average person, should we go to this restaurant? They check 2 variables. Is it close? Is it cheap? Yes, let's go. But your brain instantly runs a simulation. It's Friday, so the traffic on the bridge will be bad. The reviews mention the service has declined since the new management. If we eat heavy Italian food now, we will be too tired for the movie later. But if we don't go, Susan might be disappointed because she likes pasta. You see every angle, every counter-argument, and every potential nuance. This ability to see the gray areas is a sign of high intellect. But to the outside world, it looks like indecision or anxiety. People get frustrated with you. Just pick a place, they scream. But they don't understand that you aren't trying to be difficult. You are trying to optimize an equation with 50 different variables that they aren't even aware exist. A struggle with authority. Sign number 5 is a major one, especially in the workplace. You have a fundamental struggle with authority and hierarchy. High intelligence is inherently questioning. It does not accept, because I said so, as a valid reason. If your boss tells you to do a task that is inefficient or illogical, the average employee might grumble, but will do it to keep the peace. You physically cannot do it. Your brain rejects the inefficiency like a virus. You likely find yourself asking why a lot. Why do we do it this way? Why don't we automate this? Why is this rule in place? To you, respect is earned through competence, not through a title on a business card. If a person in authority demonstrates that they aren't intelligent or logical, you lose respect for them instantly. This makes you difficult to manage. In reality, you are an innovator. But in a rigid system that values obedience over innovation, you are a problem child. The loneliness of the long-distance runner. Finally, sign number 6, and this is the most vulnerable one. You experience a specific type of isolation known as high IQ loneliness. It's the feeling that you have to edit yourself to fit in. You have to dim your light so you don't blind other people. You hold back your jokes because you know they are too obscure. You hold back your insights because you know they will be misunderstood. You spend a lot of your life masking, pretending to be more simple than you are just to function socially. And that masking is exhausting. It leaves you feeling empty, even when you are surrounded by people. So if you nodded along to these 6 signs, where does that leave you? It leaves you with a responsibility. Being too smart for most people isn't a license to be arrogant. It's a challenge to be adaptable. Your intelligence is a tool, and part of that tool should be learning how to build bridges across that communication gap. It means finding your tribe, the other aliens who speak your language. They are out there. Maybe they are in books. Maybe they are in online communities. Maybe they are in that niche hobby you've been thinking of trying. Don't dumb yourself down to fit in, but do learn to translate your brilliance into kindness. If you related to this list, drop a comment below with "I'm an alien." Let's see how many of us are out the